What's up, guys? Rant Roller at you with another sports video. This video is going to be Larry Bird. Is he the greatest small forward of all time in basketball? And I made two videos about Larry Bird. Well, actually, more than two, because I have some gaming videos about Larry Bird versus the modern NBA. And the two biggest videos I have on Larry Bird are Larry Bird Reverse Discrimination. You can check that out on the Rant Roller channel. Now, I want to pose this question. I'm not giving a definitive answer in this video. I just want to pose a question to you guys. A lot of you that I chimed in on the comment section, and some of you that I argued or debated back and forth with in the comment section, all in good fun. Nothing personal, all in fun. I enjoyed barbershop debate, right? Is Larry Bird the greatest small forward of all time? And I want to give you some examples of some of the people that I might think can be in that category. All right, let's start with Dr. J. Here's some highlights of Dr. J. Now, the problem with these highlights of Dr. J is some of his best highlights are when he was in the ABA and with the Nets, and a lot of that footage and films are grainy, and that's the same issue that I have with doing a Will Chamberlain video or a Bill Russell video, just because the footage is not up to par. And as it is, I'm doing a bootleg show through my camera phone, so it just doesn't come across as impressive. All right, but I'll get into that later. Here's Dr. J. I selected him first because I had a viewer comment that to him, Dr. J was the greatest of all time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to look into Dr. J's playing history a little bit more because I'm a 75 baby. I was born in 1975. And Dr. J did some of his best work during the 70s. So obviously, he's before my time a little bit. All right, I came into age of really understanding and viewing basketball somewhere around the mid 80s, and I explained this to you guys in my reverse discrimination video about how Magic Johnson brought me to basketball in the 1980s, and I was a Laker fan. By that time, Dr. J was a little older and he wasn't quite in his prime. One other note to make about Julius Erving, the good doctor, and we could make a separate video about him being a great ambassador for the NBA and the ABA as someone who was drug-free and lived an upright life, very classy. That's what he was really known for, being a class act, not just a great basketball player. But a lot of the old timers that I talked to that went to the Rucker Park games and watched Dr. J play in the 70s, playing the street ball. A lot of you will dismiss Rucker Park and street ball games as, oh, it's not professional basketball. But a lot of professional basketball players from the inner city make their bones in these parks. And there's great competition there, right? And I was told by a lot of older guys that Dr. J really was handcuffed in organized basketball as far as the ABA and the NBA, that he really showed out in the Rucker Park street games and street courts and other street competition that was also filled with other NBA and ABA players. It wasn't just like he was playing guys with pot bellies that just came out on the weekend. He was playing against other professionals. And that's where they say he really showed out, along with a host of others like Pee Wee Kirkland, Charlie Scott, and so on and so forth. All right, so I want to come off the good doctor here. Bear with me a little bit here. And I'm going to put in another name here. And a lot of you are going to say, no way, blah, 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 because there's a lot of you guys out there that hate on this guy, man. You know, this guy's still incredible, man. I don't care what y'all say. This guy's incredible. And he's still going. Like the Energizer Buddy at 36 years old, still dominating today. This is LeBron in his mid-30s, around 35 years old, looking like he's 25. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Over big head Sabonis. Just like his father, Sabonis got a big head, too. Oh, get that out of here. And listen, I watched LeBron from a junior in high school, okay? And like I said in my Larry Bird reverse discrimination video, he was put on the spotlight by ESPN and other networks and newspapers all around the country from a junior in high school, okay? Had him on blast. And for him to come through and produce the career that he has, unblemished, no scandals, become a business mogul. I mean, this guy's incredible. You guys can say whatever you want. Oh, LeBron, blah, blah, blah. He's not this. He doesn't have the clutch gene. You guys are watching Skip Bayless too much. All you guys that want to comment and say he doesn't have the clutch gene, he just so happened to hit the most game winners out of any player in history. That's a fact. So just because he doesn't make them all, or he didn't make it when you watched him, doesn't mean he's not clutch. All right? And a lot of you don't like LeBron because he does a lot of that. He does a lot of hot dogging. You know, it's a different era. You know, guys in the 80s and 70s weren't necessarily hot dogs. That was frowned upon. They did fancy moves, but it wasn't about in your face, ice grilling you, staring you down after they dunked on you. They just dunked on you, turned around and went and ran down the other side of the court. It's a different day, people, and you have to adjust for the culture and the temperature of today's game. I thought he wasn't clutch. Wasn't that a game-winning shot? LeBron James is definitely one of the most athletic players that ever played a game. I'm not going to say he's more athletic than Jordan or Wilt Chamberlain, though. But he's definitely up there.
Caruso deflects it. James right back to Caruso. Back to James. Great anticipation and then vision. Durant to Wade. Walker back as Wade set it up. You wanted it. Dribble shot clock winding down. James falling away. A three. Oh, it's good. LeBron James. 19 points already. And that's his fourth three-pointer.
All right, you guys have seen enough LeBron highlights all over the internet. I'm going to throw in somebody here right now that A lot of you guys are going to be like, what? What? But this guy just never had the team around him. He never had the team around him, okay? Even these highlights here, all I'm seeing is dunk highlights. Dunk highlights, right? Or scoring highlights. Like he didn't play any defense. He did. All right, let's go to Dominique Wilkins. Now you're going to say, oh, he never won no championships, blah, blah, blah. He never had a winning team, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I remember watching Dominique in the 80s, man. He was a terror.
And the team that wins this game will be the one that executes the half-court offense the best.
Dominique could do it all on offense. He wasn't just a dunker, okay? And you guys got to keep taking into consideration, no NBA player was really a prolific three-point shooter during these times. All right, Dominique operated inside the three-point line and still was scoring 27, 28 points a game in his prime. And he wasn't a center, okay? And he made most of his bones in the paint or in the post or on the fast break. If Dominique played today, he probably would have worked on his three-point shot, and he could have easily dominated in this era because he was another guy who was phenomenally gifted athletically and skilled. Wasn't just a dunker. They make a big deal about Hakeem Olajuwon's spin moves in the paint, right? Look at this guy. Weren't too many guys better than Dominique in the paint. I'm just a sucker for a great spin move by me being such a diehard Magic Johnson and Laker fan. Love the spin move. And I use it in my own game and kill guys on the court even today with it.
Dominique against Wolf. Got it. Because Detroit 2 7-footers plus Rodman. Rodman goes down. Wilkins spins in and gets it to rattle home.
Listen, if they would have put a team around this guy, the Atlanta Hawks I'm talking about, if they would have put a team around this guy, Dominique, who knows how his career would have went. Okay? Look at this right here. Highlights of Dominique scoring 57 on the Bulls when Jordan had 41. I mean, come on, man. You know, this is not a long list for greatest small forwards of all time. I'm going to mention a few others, right? I'm going to throw another person in here just so y'all don't think I'm just putting Larry against black players. Some of y'all like might take that angle. I respect all basketball. All great basketball. And this guy was serious too, man. All right? A lot of you going to be like, what? What? Chris Mullin? Excuse this Dame Dollar ad here, man. I'm sorry for this. Bear with me, folks. Chris Mullin. Yes, Chris Mullin. He was on the 92 Dream Team for a reason. Okay? I remember him being a terror as well for that Run TMC team the Golden State Warriors had. They were averaging like 115 points a game at one point back then in the early 90s. Left-handed. One of the great left-handed players ever. Along with David Robinson and James Harden. He had that Marine Corps haircut. That's what I remember him for. He was a master at leaking out on the break. He was always ahead of the defense on the break, even though he wasn't one of the fastest guys. He just always had great anticipation for leaking out on the break. Great shooter, great ball handler. Gave my Lakers fits. Okay, he was a little undersized at about 6'7" for the small forward position back then. Wasn't a great leaper, but he was highly skilled. Had a lot of heart. You know, he came from the urban city, from the area. So he had that urban flair in him, okay? And when I say urban, I'm just not talking about black. Some people, I went back and forth with the comment section. They just use urban as a code word for black. Anybody can live in the hood. Black, white, Chinese, Hispanic. All right, doesn't matter. And Chris Mullin had that game in him. Chris Mullin, great player. He was picked for the 92 Dream Team for a reason. Not just because he was a shooter. And not because they wanted to add another so-called token white player to the team. All right? He was really a great player. But finally, let's get to the man this video is really based about. All right? I know y'all seen a lot of Larry Bird highlights, but this is who I'm basing this video off of. All right? So let's just go a little bit into Larry. Holy smoke. More commercials, folks. Yes, Ford makes great trucks. Blah, 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 blah.
He chases them.
All right. Now, is Larry Bird the greatest small forward of all time? I apologize if this video cuts off because of reception here in the mountains, but I'm going to try to make it through to the end. But once again, the question is Larry Bird the greatest small forward of all time?
They called timeout. He said, "You know I'm kidding." I said, "I know. I'm gonna be waiting." I'm going to timeout. I'm going to go play, and I was like, "This is what I'm gonna run." All right. Then she got the ball. You go over here, and he pass to Kevin. You go to the corner, and now you come over.
K.C. Jones, quick point, does not get enough credit for being one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. Okay, I don't know why. He seemed to be overshadowed by the big three in Boston as far as the players, and he was never given enough credit for being a great coach. K.C. Jones, also former player for the Boston Celtics, championship player.
And about that time, Larry steps in and says, I went back to the sideline like, damn.
Larry Bird just phenomenal the way. Bird down low, gets the ball behind. Michael comes over to try for the block, and nothing but.
If you put all of us in a room, you know, Magic, Jordan, myself, and Bird probably be the guy who walks out of the room at the end of the day.
Isaiah Thomas almost seemed like he was forced to make that statement after he got in trouble for saying Bird only won those MVP awards because he was a white player. So that was almost like a make-up comment. I don't even believe Isaiah believed that himself. Isaiah is a great politician. Steal my bird! Steal my bird! The great Dennis Johnson, point guard of the Celtics, who Larry Bird said was his favorite teammate. Oh, I can't watch this, guys, and you know why. I'm a diehard Magic Johnson Celtics fan. I don't want to watch it. Oh, no. Oh, no. I still hate y'all. I still hate the Celtics. I respect you, Larry Bird, but I hate y'all.
I remember we were playing Washington in Washington one night, and Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot. KC called timeout.
Larry was like, "What are you doing, KC?"
He was a little upset. He looks at the bench and says, That's when I come back after timeout. I'm going to go right to the same spot. And I'm going to kick it in.
But anyway, you guys know the history of Larry Bird. There's plenty of highlights and goofy-ass reaction videos. No, I'm not going to do a reaction video. I'm not going to sit up there and make monkey faces and ooh and ah and act like I've never seen nothing like it before in my life. No, I'm not going to do a goofy reaction video. But this is a question to you guys. Is Larry Bird the greatest small forward of all time? I showed you Dr. J, Dominique Wilkins, Chris Mullin, all right, and LeBron James. It's a very tight list. You know, you guys could throw some other ones in there. You might say Rick Barry. You might say, who knows? There's a couple others you might throw in there. You know, Scottie Pippen, I would put as an honorable mention, although Scottie, he never proved that he could carry a team for a prolonged period of time. He did it for 2 seasons while Michael was gone. So that's why I didn't include Scottie Pippen in this list, who's a great small forward in his own right. Okay, and what do you consider Tracy McGrady? A 2-guard or a small forward? That's why I didn't put T-Mac in this discussion either. Grant Hill was hurt too much to be added to this discussion. So you guys let me know in the comment section. Is Larry Bird the greatest small forward of all time? All right, peace.